We're feeding now. It's about right where they are. There he is. That's a really nice fish. Of course, typical, as soon as I turn off the camera, hit a nice one. That is a really nice bluegill too. Live again. There we go. Got him. This is a nice fish again.
Really?
I guess it's just like those paddleboards.
Yep. Except those girls are cute.
Alright, good morning everybody. We're getting a little bit of a late start. It's about 10 a.m. Today I'm going to be fishing on a little trout stream. I'm going to be using a nymph fly. Oh, you can see him, nice little green. The most important lure today though is going to be this, because the bugs are just eating me alive even though I just applied a bunch of bug spray. So we're going to get this lure tied on and we're going to see if we can catch anything. Unfortunately I don't have this stream to myself. So I may have to cut some out if other anglers are uncomfortable with me filming, but it is public water, so we should be fine. And that's what they're for. They're here to share. With that being said, hopefully we catch a couple fish today, and if not, this is just going to be really pretty. This little stream that I'm on is a beautiful little stream. There's some nice bluffs and stuff, so we'll try and get some still imagery of that as well. And here's to have it. Good luck. There's that fly tied on. Here we go. Alright, so here's our first bend of the stream and we have company, so I'm gonna probably stop filming right about now. We'll see what we can get. Looks to be another fly angler here, which is always good to see, and we'll go after them. When the water's just a little off color like this, their backs blend in really well, so if they're not hopping, then you won't really see them until you get one on or you get one to turn and flash at you. So, whoop. As I speak, there one feeds on top. Little guy jumped right over here in this pool. I'm going to switch my attention to that. So he jumped right here, right off the end of this point. So we're going to see if we can get him. He looked like a small fish, probably only 5 or 6 inches long, but if they're starting to feed on top, then we will probably switch over to a dry fly. I was thinking with the water as it is, but they wouldn't really be looking for stuff on top. These dang bugs are everywhere. Even though I sprayed, I got bit a couple times already. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. So that little fish that I said I saw come up and feed, I've got him on now. Oh, he's not that little. He's starting to give a better fight the longer I have him on. There he got off. Hopefully I gave him a little hook set. Wasn't enough to really keep him pinned, but I wanted you guys to see him, and we kept him on for the whole fight. I could have dragged him in a lot faster, but decided against it. I like it when you guys can see what's happening, how I fish, how I handle them, and if I lose a fish, I wasn't planning on keeping him anyway. He looked pretty small, and I'm not planning on keeping it all today. So catch and release is always good. When you don't have to handle them, your release is that much better. So you guys have probably heard me say a couple times in this video that the water clarity is a little bit off colored. And while most fly anglers don't like dirty water, I don't really either, but there is a few things that you can do with dirty water that you can't do with clear water. And that's have a little bit splashier presentations and such like that, because, and you can do this cool thing that I like to like drift it back through the area. So you pull it through an area and then you let it drift back through. So you're kind of giving the fish a second look at it on the same cast. Can't really do that too well with clean water, because if you're in clear water, they're going to see your floating line really easily. But with this darker water, they tend to, not be able to see as well. And that's why I got one. He's a fighter. So, example A of why, this works. I'm just bringing it back through, and he hit it. So we're going to get this guy in. I don't know if he's fair hooked or foul hooked, though. He's fighting like he's foul hooked, but I didn't really hook set him. I think he's foul hooked. He's foul hooked right in the tail. How did I manage that? We'll let this guy go. I mean, he's going to get a pass anyway, but must have swiped at it and got it right in the tail. Well, this is a first for me, guys. I've never foul hooked a fish on a fly rod. Right in the tail. But it's alright, bud. You're going back. You're going back. He flipped out of my hand. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You're going back. I'm sure that didn't feel so good, bud. That's right in your tail. Alright, here this guy goes. And there he goes. Full of piss and vinegar yet. Well, that's unfortunate that I foul hooked him, but I don't know how I actually managed to do that. You guys may ask, or you may not, why I fly fish so much. And the answer is, I started out as a spin casting fisherman, both for trout and open water species, other open water species. But I've now got to a point where I'm looking to expand my knowledge, expand my skills. And fly fishing is a great way to do that. I mean, I've got to learn a whole new way to cast. I've got to learn a whole new way to fish. I can't just use necessarily a bobber and a worm. I mean, I could, but presentation of it would be very difficult on a fly rod, and so would getting everything down to where the level I need it to be. But basically, it's a totally different way to fish, and I think that's important to do, is to keep expanding your skills outward. I think I just missed one. Keep expanding your skills outward, because it makes it easier to learn something new if you're always learning something. If you pick up a rod and a reel and you just stick with it for 15 years like I have, it's very different to suddenly fish a totally different way. When I fish with spinners and stuff in my previous videos, you'll notice that I fish very differently than when I fish with a fly rod. With a fly rod, I'm fishing very slow and very cautiously, making sure, my presentation doesn't hardly have a splash when I can help it, and when I make a good cast. Whereas, well, I'm using a nymph today, so there's going to be some splash. I'm looking at as a nice splash, but we're working on getting a presentation to a point where the fish doesn't see something as unnatural, where he sees it as natural, and then eats because it's something that's similar to what he's currently eating on or feeding on. Whereas with a spinning reel, you can throw pretty much things that look totally unnatural. I mean, what does a spinner really look like? A lime green spinner look like? It doesn't certainly look like a frog swimming through the water, unless it's bluegill pattern or minnow pattern, but still same. Or what's blaze orange and that swims through the water? Not a whole lot of things, but yet the fish are still feeding on them. So just had a quick video, little update. I know it's a lot of extra information that you guys don't necessarily need, but I've fished one way for a long time, and I need to start learning new ways how to fish, because I think that's really what makes a great fisherman, or fisher person, since it's 2019. But I think that's what really makes it sporting, is learning how to do something totally different and getting to a point where you can confidently say, yeah, I can go out and I can catch a fish with a fly rod, and I can catch a fish with a spinning rod, and I can do both of them pretty well. I wouldn't say that I'm pretty good at fly fishing. I certainly enjoy it a lot more now, though, because I'm starting to get to the point where I say, yeah, you know, this pool looks good, and this fly pattern I think is going to work great for this situation. But I do have days where I don't catch anything. And I'm sure there will be a video where it comes out and all I do is fish, and I can't figure out what they're biting on, and I won't catch a fish. And that'll just be a pretty video then. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a ramble and a little bit of a rant of why I picked up a fly rod. Oh, there he came off. Shoot. That was a nice fish. He jumped twice and I lost him. So this guy, I made sure I hooked him well before I started recording for you guys, so I should be able to get him in. But I was doing just like I did before on the other fish. Just reeling it in right alongside that log. Lost my deep. He's hooked well. Bring him in. Nice little rainbow here. Nice, beautiful, fat rainbow. Oop, you're okay, you're okay. You can get your spins out. Yeah. Nice 10 and a half, 11 inch fish. Maybe foot, I don't know. Whoop, whoop. There he's off. They're slippery buggers, and that's okay. I just saw another fish feed, and I'm feeling like I caught most of the fish that want to bite out of this pool, or I've got a hook in them. So I'm gonna move down probably 30 yards. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a lay down right there that touches the water. That fish just jumped right in there. Did I mention the importance of bug spray? I got bit right at the top of the chest, and man, is it swelling. But yeah, I'm gonna move down a little bit. So tips, bring your bug spray whenever you're trout fishing. See, that was a great cast. That's why I'm saying I'm an amateur. But bring bug spray and try and not get bit too much, because when you swell up, it's no fun. All right, so now I'm on the other side of this pool. I was fishing right up there, and now I'm fishing down here. Hopefully that red-winged blackbird doesn't eat me alive. He just hissed at me like he was gonna take a chunk out of me, so he's probably gonna nest nearby. That trout that I saw feeding was right in this upper pool here, kind of midway back almost to the to that log. So we're gonna kind of approach him from behind. We're gonna use some downstream tactics instead of upstream tactics. This is more of the classical fly fishing. You come downstream from where the trout seem to be appearing. You cast alongside of them, so you can see I've got a seam here that's very shallow, and then it kind of cuts off to deep, and I've hooked a log. So I'm gonna give it a fake cast. It didn't get me off there, it got me off for that. So I'll stop talking and snagging stuff, and we'll get to fishing. Say that, and as I snag another thing, so here we go. Of course, the moment that I shut the camera off, I miss a fish for you, and I lose him. He was on, and I didn't set the hook well enough because I switched to my non-dominant hand to fly fish for a while, and had to get hooked into one. So now I'm just trying to set the hook on everything, so we got a little flustered, but we'll get the rhythm back. Alright, so I don't know what the heck is going on, but we have some voodoo magic going on right now. I shut the camera off, and I hooked into this guy instantaneously. So I don't know if we're in a feeding frenzy right now or what, but I just missed like 3 trout and then hooked this guy. Back down on it, dang it. And then rehooked himself. This is just luck. Alright, he's back. This is the end of the trout stream, really. This is where they stop stocking, and it seems to have been hit pretty hard. It's also changed a lot, but this is the big pool that I was alluding to earlier. It's about, 80 or 90 yards long, probably 30, 40 feet at its widest and probably 20 feet at its narrowest. It's changed, I'll give you that. So this point used to be all deep area, and with these recent rains it's made it about 6 to 8 inches deep through the middle, and then the sides have now kind of become the channels. So we'll see how it fishes. I'm expecting that I might catch a fish out of here, but I'm not certain. That's why they call it fishing, not catching. It seems like I say it every video, but the fish may be somewhere. Sorry, I saw a fish rise. Was paying attention to that. Fish may be somewhere one time, and you come back next 6 and they're never there again. Oh, there I saw one feed, so we got him feeding. I'm gonna pay attention to him because he's right in front of my fly. Also, I'm gonna say it again. If anybody has any links to, there he is, links to polarized fishing lenses for GoPros, I would be gladly appreciative of that, because I see these fish move and stuff, and I know that I can see them move, but sometimes you guys can't see that. I saw this fish feed literally about 10 seconds before I set the hook on him. So it's a nice rainbow. This is a nice male. Gonna get him unhooked. Nice fish, good looker. Here we go on the release, and he's back. But like I said, you know, you never know where the fish are. I just happened to see this fish actually feed. There, another one fed 10 feet in front of him, where I caught that last one. So they seem to be feeding down low, like we said earlier. So we should catch a fish or two out of here. Stand more and more still, I start seeing more fish feeding along this side. I've seen another 2 boil up and kind of turn over on their bellies. So they are really feeding along the bottom right now, and I'm not sure why. But I'm going to try and get a fly in front of some of these. Hopefully we can get a fish or 2 out of them. Sorry, I just covered you guys over. Had a nice gnat eating my arm. Man, I'm seeing fish feed all the way up and down there. I missed him. Oop, and I caught the tree. This is almost more like a Euro nymph style of fishing, because I'm fishing fairly close to, there one really went after it. I'm fishing fairly close to my, that one's spazzing out. There's a fish in here who's doing like 360s. So that's interesting. He, like turned over in the water and was just spinning. I don't know why, but oh, hi. I don't know if my arm covered that. These gnats are just eating me alive again. There we go, got him. This is a nice fish again. Oh, there he got off. That's okay. You guys saw that I can at least catch something or hook into something. Nice rainbow. But yeah, I'm seeing 4 or 5 fish feed right on that side yet. Make that 5 or 6. They're really going to town on something. This would be so cool if you guys had a polarized lens on this camera. There. How's that for fishing? 2 hook sets in one continuous clip. So I don't know what they're feeding on. This is a little male brook trout, by the way. I'll show him. Oh, there he's off. Never mind, I won't show him. They're feeding on the bottom, but they're turning over, and I can see, and that's how I see them, is their brown backs suddenly become white. They have white underbellies. So that's how I'm picking them out of this bottom. Guys, I fished the rest of that pool. Didn't have any luck. Let me get out of the weeds here. The bugs are eating it live. But I fished the rest of that pool, and I didn't get any more fish. I did see a couple more, and I'm gonna leave that for the rest of the people out here. So I think this is gonna be my outro, excuse me, because I'm getting eaten up by bugs, and I probably have welts all over my neck and face. So find some better bug spray than I did. It's supposed to be 40% DEET, which is supposed to kill them or get them off you, but it may just be the case where there's millions of them and they all just are hungry for something to eat.